Well, hello everyone. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Happy New Year to you. We have Fridays with Sandy Kreisberg, the founder
Shalom,
of
everybody. Happy
Word.com.
New Year.
And we have a candidate who is currently a senior at Western University. He's a dual major in software engineering and business administration. Got great GPAs. In engineering, he's got a 3.97. In business, he's got a 3.86.
Could you name
He's
the
taking the
schools,
practice
John?
GMAT.
Yeah.
Practice GMAT, and he scored 750 on the practice. He's about to take his GMAT soon. He's applying to 2+2 at Harvard Business School and the deferred admissions program at Stanford's MBA. Now, interesting thing is the internships he has had. Los Angeles Clippers, the DE Shaw Group, which, as you all know, is a multinational investment management firm, BCG, and the Royal Bank of Canada and Data SEA Consulting. These are really great companies and great internships. And he has a job waiting for him after he graduates in May of this year with the DE Shaw Group in New York City. So, John, welcome.
Thank you so much. Happy to chat with you both.
Yeah. Well, welcome, John. Welcome aboard. What we're going to do is, I think your chances of getting into 2+2 is tough. Uh, as John informed me, and as is correct, they're looking for engineers. They're particularly looking for women engineers. So you're halfway there. It's a tough program. Uh, you're Canadian. There's usually like 50, 60, or 70 Canadians per year. So on the campus, there's usually like 120 or 140 Canadians in both classes. So you can start a club,
Got it.
Which is a lot. Now you might say, yeah, but how many Canadians apply? That's an interesting question that I don't know. Okay, let's do but I think your chances of getting in, I think your chances of being interviewed are good.
Sandy, just a general thing about 2+2. For the first time since we've been looking at the 2+2 program, Harvard is actually saying explicitly that it gives a preference to certain candidates. And here's what it's saying now, and this was never on the website before. It's giving a preference to applicants from lower socioeconomic backgrounds. It's giving a preference to applicants who are first in the family to attend college. It's giving preference to applicants who are planning to work in underrepresented industries or functions. And that would include operating companies in consumer goods, industrials and manufacturing and technology, entrepreneurship, and technically demanding roles. Engineering, software development. This is helpful to you, John. Scientific research and medical functions. I've never seen, Harvard actually say we are giving extra points to applicants if they meet any of these criteria. Have you?
Yeah, no, but to summarize that criteria, they're looking for woke engineers.
There you go.
John, you're an engineer.
Yes, that part is true.
Are you first gen by any chance?
I'm not.
Are you from a lower socioeconomic background?
I would not say so.
Okay, that's fine. You are a superb candidate given your stats and your internships and all of your extras that you put on your resume that we haven't even mentioned.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a typical interview question. It's the first day of class. How would you, and people are going around the room introducing themselves. How would you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's John. I spent my previous 2 years working at the DE Shaw Group as an associate in a hybrid role that's data science and strategy oriented. I come from Canada. I was born in Toronto. And yeah, happy to be here.
That covers the basics. Your classmates are interested in they're interested in two things: where you went to college and where you've worked. and they're
Got it.
just looking for network opportunities or
Right.
friendship opportunities. You might throw into that, just to round it out, any extracurricular or club you might want to start or join.
Okay.
Yeah, working for the Los Angeles Clippers, that's something that a lot of your classmates might be interested in.
Hmm.
Your decision to go to college, they often, particularly in 2+2, they harp on that. Could you tell me about your decision to attend Ivy Business School?
Yeah, for sure. So I attended a pretty academically rigorous high school in Toronto, but I decided from that point that I wanted to go to undergrad at least in Canada, mostly for financial reasons. One of the things that I discovered throughout high school is I had a lot of different interests, a lot of different subjects spoke to me. And so I had a hard time choosing which university program to attend because I felt that I would perhaps be pigeonholing myself. And so my guidance counselor recommended Western University because of their dual degree program, which allows you to pursue two different programs concurrently and sort of appeals to those with multiple different interests. And so, with that in mind, I went to visit the campus, went to visit the business school, and I actually learned that a quarter of the people that go to Ivy Business School graduate with a dual degree, everything from engineering to music to
Yeah,
data
blah,
science.
blah, 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 blah. John, what do you think of that answer in
Well, I
total?
think you started off really well, and you want to just cut it off quicker.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to make it shorter, but you're also sound a little robotic. That's
Hmm.
critical. That's something no one will ever tell you, but it really impact. They've got this word called scripted, which
Right.
is the kiss of death. And scripted to them means either he sounds scripted, which is no good, or there's something about this guy I don't like, but I'm not going to say it. So I'm just going to, because, who knows, but I'm just going to call it scripted, which is a permissible reason to dislike someone.
I see. A quick question on that. How do you think about distinguishing being scripted versus being formal? Because I feel like there is like a
Kind of
need.
the same. What they
Okay.
want you to be is conversational
Okay. Got it.
and shorter. This is critical. This is more important than any answer Q&A we're going to go over.
Mhm.
This is the whole presentation. Okay, tell me about your work with the Los Angeles Clippers. How do you like? You say you're fun. Tell me what you're doing and how you like functioning remotely.
Of course. So I work as a strategy and operations intern on the business operations side of the business, less related to the basketball. I work under the VP of ticket sales and look at different projects related to things like how we compensate sales reps based on the number of season tickets they sell, or what the key factors are that predict whether a season ticket holder will return or not. And I leverage my engineering
Okay,
background
that's
a lot.
the interesting one. The sales rep thing, I don't even get. Who's the sales rep?
So the team, basketball teams make most of their revenue through season ticket holders, people who buy tickets for the entire season. And
That
so
I
how those
understand. Yeah.
So there's a whole team of sales reps that are responsible for cold outreach to get people to buy those season tickets. And it's a massive part of the business. And one of the questions is how do we evaluate those sales reps? What are the key metrics to look into that predict their performance? And how
Yeah.
can we build a
Okay.
sort
Just
of,
put it. Great. I got it. I understand it now. Now,
yeah.
now, try and say it in a conversational way. Hey, what do you do for the Clippers?
So with the Clippers, I take on a variety of projects within strategy and operations, mostly related to data analytics that suits my engineering background. Some projects have included understanding the key metrics to assess sales reps on to assess their performance, as well as the key indicators of season ticket holders and what factors predict whether they will renew for the upcoming season or not. And so
Yeah.
I
So
use,
it took you a long while to get to the Clippers. The question, one of my helpful hints is answer the question immediately.
Mhm.
Okay. If possible, try and avoid giving a long introduction
Okay,
because you often never get to you forget, you give a long introduction and you say, what was the question again?
right.
That's, that's not a good look. Okay.
Okay.
So what do you do for the Clippers? The answer is the Clippers get a lot of their revenue from season ticket holders, and I help them make sure that I help them understand the season ticket holders, particularly how you get them to renew their season ticket holdings.
Yes.
Is that accurate? And then, well, how do you do that?
So a lot of it is related to data science. So we'll have an entire, let's say, Excel doc of who our season ticket holders are and a variety of factors. How many phone calls we've had with them, how many years they've been with the Clippers, and you can run a regression analysis to understand which one of those key factors hold the most predictive value in determining whether that person will return or not for the upcoming year. And then you can give that information to the sales team and say, hey, for every phone call you make, someone is 4% more likely to renew, and sort of provide some prescriptive action for them to take on based on that analysis.
Wow.
John's impressed with the content.
That's it. No, that's very cool and very impressive stuff.
Yeah, I'm impressed too, but I'm not impressed with the way you presented it, which is really critical.
Okay. So would you just say mainly being upfront with what the answer is?
The
And
most important thing we do, the season ticket holders play a major role in the success of a professional sports team. What I do is, and season ticket holders, are the people who sell season ticket holders are called season ticket holder reps. I'm their kind of data support group. I give them suggestions about who to call, when to call, what the characteristics are of season ticket holders, what they might do. You could do a better job of this because you know the content, but can you answer it that way?
Yes. So the Clippers as a basketball team have a core revenue driver of season ticket holders. These are the people who buy tickets in advance of the season for the entire duration, and they're a big source of revenue. I help support this team through a variety of data science projects, such as understanding which factors predict whether a member will renew for the upcoming season. So
Like what are those factors?
This might be anything from during a game, going to the person in their seat and greeting them and getting to know them a little bit better during halftime, or just making a phone call to them.
You really do that?
Pardon? Yeah, all the time.
Wow.
And they don't find it creepy?
I would hope not. I would hope the approach is not like
that.
I'm going to a basketball game. I'm a season ticket holder. I want to relax. What I don't want to be is sold by some,
But you're
smart.
not sold. You're being greeted and welcomed.
How do you like working remotely? How does that work?
Yeah, so I'm actually the only remote intern. Everyone else on the team is from the LA area. It's sort of forced me to be.
Stop. What does that mean?
It means that most of the time the Clippers hire from schools in and around LA, schools like USC or Berkeley. I was an exception because I was part of a program with the NBA called the Future Analytics Program, which had a pipeline to teams that were hiring at that point in time, one of which was the Clippers. And so they took a chance on me. I'm their only intern outside of the LA area. And that was sort of the nature of me working remotely. And then the experience itself it's forced me to be more intentional with checking in with my manager because I'm not just bumping into him every day in the hallway. I have to sort of force me to
that's
check.
good. Yeah, you've got to be more. Yeah, I've got to seek out my manager. We don't just meet randomly in the hallway.
Exactly.
So you have to sell yourself a little more. Other than that, a lot of the work I do is just solitary anyway. I'm designing programs and doing analyses, etc.
Exactly.
Cindy, you going to ask him what he ultimately wants to do with his MBA?
Yeah, okay. I want to. So that's the kind of a long walk through your resume, which happens, and then there are questions like, give me a roadmap after you graduate business school. What would you want to do?
Yeah, but before I answer, I do have a question. Is it bad to have several different paths that you're considering, or should you just have one singular path in mind at this point in time?
Well, like what paths are enumerate what paths are you thinking of?
So, I mean, basketball has been a big part of my life for more like almost a decade and a half. And so if I like the owner of the Clippers, Steve Ballmer, is a big Harvard guy. If I were to get an MBA from Harvard and go back to the Clippers, potentially as the head of business operations, rather, that would be compelling. But there's only 30 business operations leaders in the MBA, so it's a pretty hard role to get into. And so perhaps a more realistic.
Is it a hard role to get into? What are the backgrounds of people who are in that role?
People in that role have typically come from other sports organizations, anything from NASCAR to the MLB. And they have experience running sales for those organizations.
That's not a job you could get after Harvard, right after Harvard Business School, or am I wrong?
I would say no. You'd probably need to develop more experience beforehand.
Okay, it's okay to say, well, one of my goals is to get back into professional sports, particularly in this role called this, which is this and this. But I couldn't get that job right after HBS. So with that in mind, what I'd like to do after graduating business school is this. You
Mhm.
need that roadmap. This is really important for everybody.
Got it.
You have to be able to present your goal in a very short and clear and distinct way, and you need to be able to create a roadmap.
So if we set the basketball stuff on the side, the other path I would talk about is right after graduating from business school, I would be inclined to pursue a role in tech investing in something like a growth equity company. Do that for a couple of years, and if there's any portfolio companies of interest, join that in a role of data scientist or product manager and get into the entrepreneurship space.
Name some companies that you might want to join.
So actually, this semester, in addition to working with the Clippers, I'll be doing a fellowship with a growth equity company called Gladebrook. They invest primarily in technology companies, everything
See,
from
that's the way
Instagram.
to start it. Well, one of the things I'm doing right now is I've got an internship with this company that does blah blah, and I'm
Mhm.
interested in that area. So after Harvard Business School, a good job for me would be joining them full time, where I could get a more broad exposure, and if I'm lucky, I could you know create my assignments to the degree possible. With
Exactly.
That's the answer.
Okay, so more specific with the types of company names, for example.
It's not an unfair question, and it's
Okay.
not confidential. If it is confidential, you don't say it.
What's your essay about?
I haven't written the essay yet. Is the HBS essay isn't it super broad? It's just like tell me, is there anything else you'd want us to know about you? That's the
Yeah.
gist of
Yeah,
it.
it
Cindy,
says
what do
we
you think you
already
should
know
write
you're
about?
blah, blah, and blah. What else do you want us to know about you? Or is there anything else you want us to know?
Yeah, I think you should write about why you're co-president of the artificial intelligence organization on the campus and what that's taught you.
Yeah, I could definitely write about that. I was
Well,
thinking,
what would that deliver?
Yeah, AI is super hot.
yeah,
Yeah, I know it's super hot, but if his relationship to it is, you know, at a distance,
Yeah, but he ran.
I might recommend
Yeah.
something else.
Oh,
how I would think about talking about it is along the lines of my dad is a doctor. He wanted me to go into medicine. I was not interested in becoming a doctor, but in my studies of engineering, I've come to be interested in the technology side of medical science, aka using artificial intelligence for medical science. This was a project I built at a hackathon, actually, which was essentially using AI to uh, assess one's grip strength as a means of
Yeah,
determining
okay.
your risk.
Here's the way you answer that question. You don't use these words, but this is the core meaning, and I say this every week, and it's good advice. My goal is blank, okay? And you define your goal in an individual, powerful way. Several personal and professional influences have contributed to my interest in this goal, and I would like to explain a few of them to you. And then you've got four things, and each of the four you use like 200 words.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Do you understand that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I like how you started that, the personal view of your father being a doctor, and you weren't really interested in that, but you're interested in a part of technology that somehow connects to your father.
Right. Yeah, I
Yeah,
would.
that's a good second thing to say after you delineate very clearly what your goals are and why we're hearing this.
Okay. Yeah, and that would pretty much be what we talked about before, hoping to do entrepreneurship in the tech space, more specifically related to healthcare.
Cindy, what do you think are John's chances of getting an interview at Harvard?
Boy, 2 plus 2 is tough. He's got great. I'm assuming you're going to get like a sort of 750 GMAT. You've got your, big GPA. You've got great experience is
Got a
so
good school.
and you're at a good school.
I think John's going to get interviewed, don't you think?
Yeah,
I
it's
think
real strong.
you really should be interviewed. I mean, if they don't interview you,
Don't say that. I'll introduce
I
you.
know, I shouldn't say it.
I'll
But
introduce you to
make me
people who do
angry.
not get interviews
Make
that
me
would knock
really
you
angry
off
if he
your
doesn't get
chair.
an interview, okay? And if you get interviewed, look, even though, Sandy's grilled you and given you a hard time, I think you're an incredibly articulate and impressive candidate. I can't believe that unless you completely choke, which I doubt that you will, they're going to be super impressed. Okay.
All
Hey,
right.
John, good luck to you. Okay. And I know you're going to be taking the GMAT soon, so good luck on that. If for any reason, because the odds are so hard on these two programs at Harvard and Stanford for deferred admits, you don't get accepted. I would urge you not to be disappointed, but to simply put your 2 years in at DE Shaw, do well there, and apply again. Wouldn't you agree, Sandy?
Oh, for sure. A lot of
Yeah.
people, there are a lot of people at Harvard Business School who are 2+2 rejects.
And the
If you
accept rate
understand what I
on
just said.
accept rate on reapplicants at Harvard is quite high, actually, and particularly for someone like you. So if for any reason it doesn't happen, know that in 2 years it will happen. Okay. That's what I
Just 2
want
or
to
3
convey to
years.
you. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I think Harvard is crazy if they don't interview you. I think Harvard is crazy if they don't accept you. Sandy never agrees when I say these things, and I rarely say them, but I'm saying it to you. Good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you
And
both
all
for
of
taking
you
the
out
time.
there, good luck on your MBA journey. This is John Berman, Poets and Quants. You've been watching Fridays with Sandy.